because everybody thinks that they're more capable of things than they actually are, which is what leads to the Simply Mander comments. She probably expected something of herself. I'm an intermediate athlete. And then she finds out that she isn't. Yo, Wodapolooza team qualifiers are done, dusted. 8 o'clock yesterday was the end of the submission. Wodapolooza releases a statement that workouts 5 and 7 are the ones that they're going to be asking for, and of course, all hell breaks loose. And I feel partially responsible for this. I have the YouTube channel, which is now loading people up with, I want Hiller to look at this, put the bats in the comment section, and I do have an opinion. I love the bats. The bats are freaking awesome. I feel compelled to make a freaking video as a result of the bats in the comment section. So here we go. Let's make the video. What do they say? Team scores are locked and it's time to see those videos. Videos for workouts 5 and 7 are due Wednesday, October 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Submit your video links through Competition Corner. Please note, other videos may be requested to verify your team's performance in any workout outside of the ones requested. We recommend having all videos ready for review. Uploading workouts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 videos to Competition Corner is recommended but not required. No scores are final until the conclusion of the video review process. Any team in any division looking to compete in Miami, including scaled, are required to submit videos 5 and 7 regardless of placement. Did anybody read that? Did anyone read that? When I look at the comments section, it doesn't seem like anybody read the words posted on the fucking page. I think Wodapolooza may have preemptively posted a follow-up in the comment section saying, seeing some impossible scores? It's like, do you know of anybody who was infected with mesothelioma?
Attention, if you or a loved one have been diagnosed with mesothelioma.
You know those commercials when you're watching football and it's like, do you know anybody who has these side effects? I don't know what the freaking things are.
If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call me right now.
But it just sounds like, are you seeing some impossible scores? Other videos may be requested to verify your team's performance in any workout outside of the ones requested. We recommend having all videos ready for review. Uploading workouts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 to Competition Corner is recommended but not required. They're reiterating themselves, seeing some impossible scores. And I think that it might be because of that they had a little bit more of an outcry, namely from Simply Mander. Now, this person, I've never really heard of her until I made a video on her. She popped up on my YouTube channel on the homepage. I clicked on it because it said CrossFit ruined me. I made a reaction to that, and I think that I was a little bit too easy on her, so now we're going to go a little bit harder on Simply Mander. No, we're not seeing impossible scores.
Is that what you think? You think?
We know people are cheating because you literally don't care. Crying emoji, crying emoji. Look at the leaderboard. Look at the people that are at the top of intermediate. It's a fucking joke, and it always will be ever since Guido left. All right, I'll let you know something here. You can't make a video about how CrossFit is too hard and then also try to come at CrossFit for saying that the intermediate scores are a joke. Maybe you're a joke. You basically said that you couldn't keep up with the Joneses. I picked up on that. Amanda Hari, who made a reaction to my reaction of your initial video, saw that you said that you couldn't keep up with the Joneses.
Kind of get obsessed with this idea of like keeping up with the Joneses.
Trying to keep up with the Joneses. Well, here's the way that keeping up with the Joneses work. If everybody in your neighborhood has $1 million house and property values go up, and all of a sudden you have to pay more in property taxes, you better also expect to have to make more money to keep up with the property tax. To keep up with the Joneses, if you will. Everything is becoming more expensive in your area. You want to go get milk or a gallon of gas and you live in California, it's $7 in California because that's what it costs to live in California. And in the CrossFit world, maybe if it was 2015 Simply Mander and you still wanted to go to the CrossFit Games, it's like, I'm going to work out 5 hours a day and I'm going to go to the CrossFit Games. Well, maybe at that point in time, you could have made the RX division, but this is now 2022 and the people who were elite are competing RX and the people who were RX are now competing intermediate because they want to go to the competition. Simply Mander, it is not the correct way to think about this thing. So maybe the people she's thinking of were 27, 28. They were RX athletes. And now they're 34 to 35 years old. They want to compete on a team of 3. They got a couple of buddies around their gym that also want to compete with them. They're going to sign up with intermediate because rather than they take the top 70 people in the freaking RX elite division, right? Maybe they had the foresight to see that, hey, we aren't in as good of shape as we used to be in 2014, 2015. We don't want to finish in 110th place. We want to go to Wodapolooza in Miami. Our current capabilities and our current abilities put us into the intermediate division. Have you ever fucking thought of that, Simply Mander? It's an incredibly likely scenario. And while it is still likely that there are people cheating out there, I would say that there are maybe 2 to 5% of the competition that are actually legitimately going to look at a workout and say, this is the time that I think is possible. I'm just going to put that score in because Wodapolooza isn't going to look at the leaderboard and they don't care.
Is that what you think? You think?
Well, I'll tell you what, these competitions do care. That's why Can West and Can East is putting on another competition competition because they want to pay out the athletes. They do care. I can't say the same thing about the CrossFit Games. Workout number 3, remember in the quarterfinals where they didn't filter out the shuttle runs the way that they could have, should have? And the difference between what Simply Mander and some of the people in the comments are doing right here is that they're acting before the end of the submission video deadline, before the leaderboard has been finalized. So there are scores on there, right? And people are all outraged. Everyone's fucking cheating. It might nudge the competition being Wodapolooza in the right direction. Like, holy shit, if we don't do the right thing, we're going to lose everything. And that's okay. Maybe it's some pressure that it's needed. It's why I'm here. But it's something that I also learned over the course of the CrossFit Games season last year. Adrian Bosman, with one of those CrossFit Games update shows with Justin Berg there, was responding to one of the news anchors on like the Morning Chalk Up or the Clydesdale who had asked the question, what do you think about the vocal people on the internet, namely me, calling you out? And Adrian's biggest response was that they're talking before everything is said and done. I made sure that after that point, if I was going to be talking before everything was said and done, I would want to be doing so presenting an option to that entity that be to make the right choice. And if they don't make the right choice, then you bring the fucking pain. Then you rain down on them. I can name them a couple of times. Number 1 was this is how quarterfinal 3 is affecting the leaderboard, and then they say it's erroneous and it's not being filtered. And you know that that's clearly a lie. They just didn't want to do it. That maybe they didn't have the manpower, but who knows? And then I remember the wall balls on the semifinals for the Masters, which sent people directly to the CrossFit Games. I was like, hey, this doesn't count, this doesn't count, this doesn't count. And then they just don't fucking look at it. It was 10 workouts to look at and they didn't look at it. And then I rained down hate on them. I also remember that during the quarterfinals, I found some videos on the internet and I said, hey, these scores should be invalidated. There was an athlete named Braden Footer that had maybe a day to redo a workout and he made everything much more visible and the movements to standards. He held himself accountable. He did everything the right way. And these are only things that happen when you say things in such a way where it actually wants people to receive your input, your criticism. The way Simply Mander states that right there, saying that it's just a fucking joke and they don't care, is very far off base. She's already removed from the CrossFit world. She doesn't work out at an affiliate. I mean, she does, but she doesn't work out with the affiliate. She does her own programming because she's better than everybody. And rather than rising to the level of competition, which at this point in time is the intermediate division, she would rather just say everyone's cheating and everybody's on steroids. So I do think that workout 1 was ridiculous. It was stupid. And I do think that there's probably a shitload of repetitions on those thrusters in particular, which are done with an empty barbell. So it's probably missing extension and probably the wall balls. 150 for time. The depth, I've seen a lot of videos on the internet. I could make videos on that if I wanted to. The depth of the wall ball on Karen is not being hit by a lot of people. But what we want to do as a community is say, hey, Wodapolooza, look at workout number 1, please. And they're saying that they might do that. They can still do that. They can still filter the leaderboard the way that it should. And it's pretty easy. You go to the leaderboard, which I'll do right now. And you do things like click on workout number 2 on the male elite side. You'll see that Team Killbox has a very quick score on workout number 2. You'll see that on workout number 6, the Brokeback Boys have a time of 26:33 from CrossFit Commence. And it's like, all right, how'd you finish in 164th and also get the best time on workout number 1 when you're competing against some of the best in the world? I'd say that that's extremely unlikely. We'll click through the female side now. And so far, I don't see very many outliers on the female side, but let's go check out the intermediate stuff. On the intermediate side, workout number 2 for the males, Baywatch, built by Unity, time of 3:40 on workout number 2. If you look 2 to the right, you'll see that there's a scaled score on workout number 4, which is the same but different, same but different.
We are different people. We speak different languages. We have different faces. But inside, we are same, but different. Konnichiwa.
Their overall placing is 262nd. It's very unlikely that they also had a first place finish on workout number 2, so I would look at that one if I were Wodapolooza. Workout number 3, there's a team in 274th, the Wicked Peasants, with a time of 5:01 on workout 3. That one seems unlikely to me too. You finished 5th, but you also finished in 274th place. On workout number 6 in the intermediate men, you've got Devil Box Team, 310th place, but 2nd place on workout number 6, which basically means that they've got incredible engines but couldn't do anything else. Seems unlikely to me at this point in time. In this world, if everyone who's trying to compete against the intermediate division, Simply Mander's probably fuming at that sort of stuff. But we haven't given Wodapolooza time to fix this. I bet they look at it and they just either ask for the score or they pick it out because they're not going to respond because, like Garrett Sager, they don't have the ability to show those workouts. Remember, when I made the Garrett Sager thing, I wasn't coming after Wodapolooza, I came after Garrett Sager. We crowdfunded $7,000 to see that workout. He couldn't do it because he's a fucking cheater. You call out the individual, Right now I'm calling out teams on here. So right now we're on the intermediate scaled female teams division. Workout number 2 on the intermediate scaled teams division. You've got a time of 3:03 by Jelena, Driving Force CrossFit, but their overall rank is 126. That seems incredibly unlikely. That is unless they didn't put a score in. Nope, they have all their scores in, so that's incredibly unlikely. Workout number 2, 5:12, 8th place overall, but their team ranking is 190th. Unlikely. Not really thinking that that's possible. I'd have to be proven wrong. Here's one of the worst ones. Workout number 4, 4:06. The other 2 scores are scaled. Dazed and Confused, CrossFit 617, Braintree, 311th overall as a team. I can see why these scores would make someone like Simply Mander frustrated, but again, we haven't given Wodapolooza as an entity, as a business, as somebody who needs to go through the back end and figure everything out and send out the emails to get the scores in, ask for the requisite follow-up videos, which they are doing. It said they do it right there. And if I want to bring out my personal favorite, it is workout number 4 of the Elite RX male division. The winner of that has a time of 3:46. The team is Mexico from Strong Suit. The athletes are Carlos Labarte, Roldan Goldbaum, and Luis Oscar Mora, who I remember was competing at either the MAC or the Syndicate Crown. I just remember the stadium. I don't remember which of the 2 events that was. But I'm going to go ahead and say that this time of 3:46 being up to standard, I gave Garrett Sager about a 3% likelihood. If he would have sent me that video, I would have sent him $200. The community would have gotten together and given him a bunch of money if he could have proven that. I'm going to do the same thing here with Mexico. But while I think it's more likely, I don't like losing money. So if the individual from Team Mexico can send or post this workout of 3:46 to YouTube, I will Venmo that individual $100. Because when I look at this, the workout number 4 here went 300 double unders, 20 overhead squats, 135, and a 100-foot handstand walk. If you do 300 double unders unbroken, 100 at a time, about as fast as you can do it, is about 50 seconds a clip. You think about 2.5 minutes on the 300 double unders, the 20 overhead squats with transition. So you got to put the rope down, pick the bar up. You do a squat snatch, you do 20 overhead squats. Maybe you do that in 35 seconds, all in all out the door. So you're at 3:05 or 3:10 at that point, at which rate you have 35 seconds to do 100 feet of handstand walking done in 25-foot sections. The fastest handstand walker that I've ever seen is Matt Rattay, and I think in 2015 they had a handstand walk event at the Central Regional before or after the snatch, I don't remember, but he won it with a time of maybe 1:20.
Heat number 2. Larry, who's kicking up first?
Right down the middle, looked like Steven Fisher, but it's going to be Matt Rattay running on his hands. Look out, Kiki, here he comes, red pants. And
He asked me to call him Mighty Mouse. I said I gave that name to Emily Bridgers, but if you do something impressive, I'll give it to you.
When you do that 1:20 handstand walk in 125 feet down and 125 feet back, you're saying that the fastest man on his hands on the planet can do it in 40 seconds. So when you reverse engineer all of that thing, you're saying 2.5 minutes for the double unders, you're at 3:10 by the time you get to the handstand walk, down, back, down, back, down, back, maybe 40 seconds, and then you're looking at a time of about 3:50, the way that I just concocted it right there, and I'd like to see it. I'll give you $100 if you can prove it, and that is how you do it, Simply Mander. You look at the leaderboard, you give the entity that be the opportunity to look at the things you're pointing out. So right now, Wodapolooza, watch this video, check it out. What do you think? Look at all the intermediate scores that I just called out because they're unlikely. You can see it, you can do the same thing, but you guys have the power to ask for these videos, which I suppose you could do. Ask for every single workout video. But then what you guys also need to remember is that everyone is fucking retarded. There are people here who are likely pressing the wrong button for scaled RRX. They had 10 days to figure out what the workouts were, to figure out what the movement standards were. Have I mentioned in this take, I don't know, I made a couple of these takes, that I have a dog in the fight. I've got dogs in the fight. My fiance Alexis has 2 teammates. Their team name is Hillerfith. They finished in 65th place last night, 6:30. So the end of the submission, my time was 7 o'clock. And I said, you have to redo this workout or you're not going to make it. So she had to redo the handstand walk, double under, overhead squat workout. She starts up the handstand walk and she had to come down after 15 feet. And I said, no rep. Because from what I saw, it looked like her foot came down before her hands had crossed the line. It cost her about 7 to 8 seconds. That 7 to 8 seconds almost cost them a spot going to Wodapolooza through the unfinalized leaderboard. Remember, it isn't finalized. I don't know how many times I can say that. I made her go back. They finished in 65th overall. All is well and good. But imagine a world where I said she didn't get the repetition, and then when you go through it with a fine-tooth comb and you look at it, and in freeze frame, you can see that her hands were over the line before her foot had touched the ground. She gave me shit for that. She's like, you know rep me. And I'm like, all right, you got Team Hillerfit. It's almost like the person you put your team name on has been roasting people on the internet for the past 8 months. I'm going to give you every single no rep that I think that you have to have. And in real time, it didn't look good. Would you rather do it the other way around? When I say everyone's a freaking idiot, it's more like everybody doesn't want to call it as they see it, as it should be. I called it as I saw it, as I thought it should be. Because there's a world, and it's a much more likely scenario, where there is a husband and wife watching people do a bunch of overhead squats, and the wife's telling the husband to like, stand up, stand up, stand up, please stand up. 20 overhead squats later, not one of them was stood up. Or get this one. The wife is telling the husband to extend their hips on the overhead squat, and the husband freaks out because everybody thinks that they're more capable of things than they actually are, which is what leads to the Simply Mander comments. She probably expected something of herself. I'm an intermediate athlete. And then she finds out that she isn't. And then you lash out at the people who are doing the right thing. Wodapolooza as an organization. The question that everybody should be asking themselves, do you want the CrossFit Games to be the only company putting on CrossFit events? Because if you keep on lashing out against the Wodapaloozas of the world, that's what you're going to be left with. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I see the comments in the comments section. Andrew, go make a video. I love making the videos. I then ask myself, as I present my opinions, is this what you expected? And I actually hope to possibly change some people's minds. And at the very minimum, I want them to reserve their opinions until everything has finalized. And then I'm a pretty big advocate of, you're already in the fight. You signed up for this. If they pissed you off to the point of no return, voice your opinion once it's done, stamp on it, and then never do it ever again. But I think empathy is a pretty big thing. And imagine being in the position of Wodapolooza, trying to do the right thing, and then seeing that sort of shit from Simply Mander, who has the 100,000 followers on YouTube, but I'm here to snuff out that fucking flame. So Simply Mander, see you later, idiot. Andrew Hiller, out.